I could see you, and then all of a sudden I couldn't for for the last couple times we could talk. Mute. Okay.
Saying something?
All I Yeah, yeah. I just pushed the screen sideways, and now I have a little picture of you, but that's better than not at all. That's fine. That's good. Hello.
Yeah.
So tell me, as they say.
So how have you been? We missed it. Talks, speaking for some time, right?
Yeah, we have missed some time.
So tell me about last two. We didn't speak.
Oh boy, what was I doing? Oh, the one day I was driving back from the last time I planned to talk to and couldn't. I was driving back from Washington Courthouse and the military Eyes of Freedom event. And the event went well. It was totally unexpected the way it turned out. We were in a big metal building that was very hot, and we were at the very back.
Yeah.
So people didn't want to go back there because it was hot and there was cigarette smoke in the building. Um, and we set a table up outside with our merchandise to sell. And they also had merchandise. So I don't think we sold anything. I don't think we sold anything in the 3 days we were there. Um, but we networked a lot with some folks. These are all military veterans. Some of them were in Vietnam. Those were the oldest ones, and some of them were younger than that. And so uh, there were hundreds of motorcycles, hundreds of powerful machines, because it is a motorcycle group. And then the week before that, I can't remember why I wasn't able to talk to you then, but um, I just made a list of all the projects, the little things that I have to do. Um, even the smallest thing, so I could get it out of my head, because they pile up and then I go into overwhelm and I don't want to do anything. I'm not motivated to do anything. Um, so I put that on paper right before you called. I'm supposed to meet the father of our friend who moved away, who Arimer, who moved away and had his 30th birthday. His father is having kidney dialysis. He's being instructed on how to do kidney dialysis at home.
Hmm.
He lives all by himself now, way back in the woods. He has a computer, but he doesn't have a cell phone.
Oh.
I'm meeting him today for lunch about 1 o'clock. He's looking to get some people here in town to commit to, if he gets on a kidney transplant list, he's looking for people that will say, if I call you at 3 in the morning and they tell me we have a kidney available, will you drive me 3 hours to the hospital, right? And
Hmm.
stay there a couple days. So, to see what it takes and how he does and everything. So there's three or four of us who have said, who are considering saying we'll do it, but the problem is we all of us travel. So nobody can say absolutely, if he calls, if he's even alive to get a transplant. He's he thinks he has pneumonia and his kidney numbers are very low. So we may be beating a dead horse here because the guy may not ever make it. He may not qualify, but he's got to have some names for the doctors to even put him on the list, right?
Hmm.
So that's a big thing. We were all talking about it last night at dinner. We go to Debbie and Dwight's house every Sunday, as I've told you before. And Austin actually came last night too. It was Father's Day here in the States. And Rafe was with his mother because it was her birthday. So he came along and I think he enjoyed. I thought he would enjoy talking to Dwight. Dwight's a guy in his 70s, I think, and they both were in construction. So they had a lot to talk about, but I'm glad Austin came. We've had tons of rain and it's on the forecast for every day this week. So it's hot and muggy, hot and humid here right now. Um, Lots of people are dying from just normal diseases. Normal that sounds like a weird thing. How could it be normal if you have a disease, right?
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of one guy in his 60, one guy 69, the husband of the president of our women's club, he had dementia for the last couple years. He got that early, relatively early. So there's a lot of people passing, leaving the planet. I've been watching some YouTube stuff. There's a guy named Stefano, no, something Di Stefano, and he was talking about. He's really interesting. He was talking to Alex Ferrari on Next Level Soul, and he spent a lot of time talking about how people are afraid of death, and if they recognized, like we've talked before, that it's just the other side of the veil, people wouldn't be so fearful about stuff. But he was interesting to listen to. um I finally caught up with my sister while I
Hmm.
was in at that motorcycle event. um and we talked for about an hour or so. So we she's teaching summer school and teaching at a camp for uh, science and technology and stuff for kids, third graders, I think. She's going to teach third graders next year. But one thing I learned from her is, unlike me, she always has to be busy or she goes into a funk. If she's not busy all the time, she said to me that she has too much time on her hands and that's not a good thing. So I learned, like the little light bulb went on. I learned that we're very opposite because I need a lot of downtime not to do anything, and she's opposite from me. So that was a good thing to learn. That was a really good thing to learn because then I understand her better. Um, I have been doing some writing. I did some automatic writing the day before yesterday. One of the things I have learned is I am not going to be I am not going to be a consistent writer after this 90 days is up. Whether I write a couple words on paper and go back to them, uh, my style of writing is, excuse me, excuse me, my style of writing, even with the attempt at discipline to do it every day, my style of writing is just like I paint. I cannot do it every day consistently. Um, I'm consistently inconsistent. And when I decide to do it, whether it's writing or working on my artwork, I will do it, a day, all day long, or 2 days, all day long. But even that, even that, I don't do it 8 hours at a time. I just do it sporadically. Um, so I could see a theme through my writing, that family is really important to me, family and connections to my friends. And as I told you before, that issue with conflict continues to, it's not conflict so much, and I think it has transformed into setting my boundaries and being aware of, yes, I will go this far, and that's it for now. Doesn't mean things won't change, but that's where I am now. So as an example, um in order to make plans to have lunch with my friend today, one of my girlfriends, the one who always has us for dinner on Sunday night, said, "This guy doesn't have a phone, so we can't easily contact one another. He has email." And she said, you know, "I'm sending the messages through her to him for some ungodly reason." And she said, "Maybe you want to wait on the corner by the depot, this building here, and catch him when he goes by." And I'm thinking, I'm not doing that. I'm not waiting in my car, hoping that I could find him, that he goes by. Get out of town. So I just said to her, the email is going to have to do. And in fact, within 10 minutes, I had heard from him. But that's the simple kind of thing that I'm continuing to do. And and I'm noticing my friends who can't do that with people, where it's causing them a lot of strife because they can't say what they really want to say, or they can't set their boundaries. And maybe that's happening for more people than just us here, but um yeah, that's just an observation of what's going on, and an observation with the writing project, and just how my biorhythms work, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. So that's it. That's kind of it in a nutshell for me. I'm just trying to get through my, I must have 25 things on my list to do, but a couple of them. Last night I realized that some of the leak that I thought I had fixed in the ceiling in here is not fixed. So a whole bunch of my clothes got wet. Another thing to add to the list that I didn't need to add, right? So this morning, most of them had dried and they weren't stained or anything. So I put them up, but excuse me. The priority to get some plastic on the wall, on the ceiling, is gonna be major because we got a lot of rain. It's almost like what you guys are going through, on and off for the whole season. So that's my story, girly. How about you?
Yeah, so the whatever you write is writing in any case. Whether you do a listing of whatever little things you have to do, that also
Yeah.
is writing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So anything that you put on the paper and which is downloaded from your brain is writing. And the main objective is to download, not to keep in the head, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is what writing is. So um, don't put yourself into pressure that you have to write something in sentences or something.
Okay.
It is not that.
Okay.
So uh, the habit habit of searching the pen and paper is what is required, because you don't want to keep them in head. There is
Yeah, it's painful keeping it up here.
yeah. And the human brain is not designed to hold things. It is designed for innovation, so that you can think of new things, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So, but life goes on, so that is why we also memorize few things that we'll do this. But we do a favor to our brain if we download that and keep on paper. Right?
Well, maybe I'm more consistent than I thought then. Well, either way, whether there's a label on it or not, the 90 days of being aware of downloading has been helpful.
Yeah. So that is what was the objective when we started, right? So downloading is happening.
Yeah.
Another thing you said, you learned from your sister that um, she has lot of time not doing anything, right?
She wants to be busy all the time.
Hmm.
Yeah. If she
Oh,
has if she's not busy, I think she gets depressed.
okay. So there are people who are always doing something or other without really being creative about it.
Mm-hmm.
And because we think of innovation, no, the brain is designed to innovate, not to be busy with some like small things, this thing, random things like that. So, of course, our brain will process lot of things and give you some insight suddenly someday.
I get the sense um that Diane, she takes on big projects. And so, she's going to be teaching summer school for 4 weeks now that the school year has ended. And then she's going to do camp. The invention, it's called Camp Invention. And then what did she say she's going to do after that? She's going on vacation with my cousins, my girl cousins that she's closer to. Oh, and she took 3 classes for herself to advance her salary, her pay scale. So she, in her way, she's creating stuff. She doesn't paint or write or journal, or not that I know of. um, when she needs to chill, she has started meditating, and she has her classroom kids lay down on the rug in school. She has brought that into her classroom. So that's been a good thing. She just takes on large projects and does it in a creative way, just differently than I do. Um, I don't. She's not just doing things, to keep herself busy. She just needs her time. She just needs to fill her time. Maybe that's a better way to say it. She's not wasting her time. I know that. Um, so if we looked at it, apples to apples, we probably, I consider the time that I sit and daydream as valuable. So I fill, I fill my day with different things um, that helps me be creative. So I guess, we're all doing the best that we can do, which is what you do. So, it is what it is. Um, I did I did have 2 people come uh last Tuesday. I think they came last week, Tuesday, a woman who runs an antique store, a well-known antique store about in the little city about 15 miles from here, and her partner, and they buy out a, when someone passes, a lot of times they buy out the house, they buy the estate, and then they sell off all the stuff. And then also a separate thing, several times a year she has a humongous building and they have a big sale. So there's one coming in June, right about now, actually. No, I think it was this weekend. And then there's another one coming. I asked her to come and look at the things I wanted to get rid of and to look at my contemporary artwork made out of repurposed things. And they liked what they saw when they came. So so I'm working on getting as many pieces of artwork together for a sale that will be in August or September. I'm not in a hurry. I need the time to create. And I went through all of my stuff again that's stored in Austin's garage and culled out a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to bring to her. It's not artwork, but it's things that she can sell. And so I'm in the process of releasing a lot of things and creating some new artwork. They were not interested in buying my car. She liked my car a lot. She said, "We've sold 3 cars for a lot more money than we expected. They take 50% of what you give them." And they market, they do a lot of research, and they do a lot of very niche marketing to a big list of people. So people come from everywhere. And then what they don't sell, they donate to different charities, or you can go and pick it up if you want it back. But most people don't want what they get, what they're trying to get rid of back. So that was that was a big thing for me on Tuesday when uh, I got clarity that they really liked my contemporary artwork. So that's good. So little by little, I have pieces to finish and some new stuff to start. And then in the first couple of weeks of July, I have to take everything to them. We bring it to them, and then they set it up in this big building. Um, they have somebody that donated a lot of toys, old toys and unusual toys. And so um, they're gonna merge my artwork that's kind of whimsical with the toys, I think. And who knows what else between now and August and September. So that was a big deal. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So after
So
after the room is cleaned up, how do you feel, Sophie? Is it cleaned? It is still
no,
clean?
it's all organized with little green pieces of tape on everything's gonna go. I feel good. It feels like it's gone already because I have released stuff. I went through every tub that I had and put all the stuff I was getting rid of in bags or in boxes, mostly bags, so things won't get wet, plastic bags. And I released a lot of heavy china, a lot of china that I was tired of messing with. So it feels good. I feel like I have released a lot of stuff, and this this won't sound weird. It will not sound weird, but there's a part of me that is saying to my body, maybe you really are releasing this because you think you want to live to 140, but maybe your cells have other plans, you know. Maybe
Yeah.
you really are going to leave the planet sooner than you think. And this organizing is part of what's coming for you. And that doesn't really scare me. It's just it's making me look at the options of my friend Fawn, I don't think thought she was going to leave the planet. And the next thing we knew, she was gone. That could happen to me. It could happen to you. It could happen to any of us.
Yeah.
So it's just me um, being forced to look at the reality of it is I could be gone tomorrow. I could be gone and join the ranks of all the other people I'm talking about. I have no guarantee that that's not happening, but one way or the other, I am spending. Oh, I'm spent. This came from Bashar. This will be interesting, I think, to you. He gave us four things to spend about 15 minutes every day thinking about, saying and thinking about. He said you can do it 2 or 3 times a day, but no more than that. You say these four things. Um, there, an infinite, no, a finite number, a finite number of finite universes, a finite number of infinite universes, an infinite number of finite universes, an infinite number of infinite universes. And he said, oh, you went away.
Yeah. I'm there. Something is happening. I'm there, Sophie. Yes. I don't know why the picture goes. Yes. So go ahead. I'm listening. You are on mute, Sophie. You are on mute.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why that happened. All of a sudden, it went to mute. I didn't touch anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's okay now. So anyway, he said, "I'm not telling you this to come up with a number. There's no answer." He
Mhm.
said, "If you do that, it will force your brain to work outside the boundaries. To work outside the dimensions you're in." I'm telling you, it is hard to think about that. It's really tricky because I almost have to plug other words in for the word finite. I almost have to plug other words in there, like um, something with an ending. It's hard to wrap my brain around saying those four things, and I've only been able to do it once a day so far. But it's like, oh,
Mhm. Yeah,
so any yeah, just another thing to make just to keep my brain moving.
yeah.
So, how are all your plants doing? How's your garden?
My garden is great. Now, in between, there was this high temperature exceeded 40 degrees Celsius in Delhi. So, so 2 days of intense heat, you can say, lot of heat. Even the
Yeah.
AC was not working,
Uh,
and after that, yesterday there was a bit of rain, so little bit of respite,
yeah.
but not much. Again, it was very, very hot. Not that hot as it was, say, 4 days before, but Yeah, still hot. It's already June, and so the monsoon has arrived. Maybe because
Oh,
of that, the real temperature feels like 5 to 6 degree more, you know.
yeah,
So, lot of humidity.
yeah.
This year, they say the monsoon has arrived from the south as well as from the east. I don't know how that is possible.
Uh-huh.
So maybe the direction of the wind, no, the monsoon wind has changed direction a little bit. So it has spread from south to a little bit southeast, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it feels like a monsoon here too. Right now we have blue skies and sun,
Hmm.
but it rained most of the night, and it's on the it's on the forecast for every day. We'll see. But how have you when your air conditioning stopped, were you up all night or were you able to get some sleep?
The air condition is running, but the it is not cooling.
Yeah.
So when that happens, actually I make my clothes wet and then put on my body and sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It
So
it was so it was so hot in here the other night. Um Even with the fan blowing on me, I went in Austin's house. He and Rafe went to buy Rafe's mother a birthday present, but I had to get out of here. I want to put a screen on the door and hope that the fan pulls the hot air out. Sometimes it's cooler outside than it is in here, and um, I'm not sure what to do about that because the windows in here don't open, and oh, I know, I know. I think the other time that I couldn't talk to you was because the electrician. No, I was on the road. I was on the way back. But the electrician came last Monday and he upgraded the electrical system in here. So I was able to plug in my new mini refrigerator with a little freezer on top. So that's working. The fan is working at the same time, and I can turn on, my little cook stove, my little cook burner. So that got done. That's a big thing. And the second big item was to find somebody to replace these windows with windows that open. But that guy was so busy. He was working 16-hour days, and I said, "No sense adding me to your list. You'll never get to me, you know." And so I've just been putting up with the heat, and a lot of times then I'll be gone during the day when it's really hot, or I'll get up early in the morning and work. Like that's what I did when I went through all the stuff in Austin's garage. I must have got up around 4:30 in the morning, and I started working, and I worked for about 4 hours, I think, cuz by 8:30 I had gone through pretty much everything, and I was really tired because it was a lot of heavy lifting and stuff. But I thought it was at least noon, and it was only 8:30. But that's what I'll have to do. If it's cool in the garage, it's cool because it has a cement floor and it doesn't have any windows because this building, this part is on the side, and on the other side there's a little shed, like a carport and a shed. So it stays pretty cool in there. Um, so I was able to work, and I could keep the door open. If I keep the door open here, the cats come in, and they I don't want any cats peeing on anything, so I have to keep the door closed here until I put a screen door on it or something. I bought this big roll of screening last year, and I was going to make a screen door. That's not happened, but I have creatively um, pared it down to I'm just going to staple that piece of screen over the door opening, and I'm going to take a board that will weigh it down and staple it on the bottom, and that's going to be my screen door. All I need to do is keep the cats out and let some air come in and out. It doesn't have to be a fancy door. So, because I got to get some air flowing in here, or yeah, it'll just be too. It's not bad now, but by the time the sun goes to the front, it'll be cooking. Woof! It'll be just like your monsoon.
Hmm.
And we have the river that goes through town. It's brown right now because we've had so much rain. It stirred up all the dirt. And Austin's hoping to take Rafe. Rebecca is on vacation. She went to the beach with one of her girlfriends and their family. So she's going to be gone for a week, I think. And uh, Austin wants to do something that's fun with Rafe. So they'll probably Rafe wants to go to the river and swim, and he wants to go fishing, which they do, a minute away from here. And they bring the fishing poles, and if it's warm enough, Austin will go in. If it's cold, if the water's cold, he won't go in because it brings back his PTSD from being in the service. And so usually it's I don't know if it's warm enough. It might be, but Rafe went in even though it was chilly. He doesn't care. So so the river's only, it's about 500 feet wide. It's just a little tributary that goes through Alderson, but it's wet, and people kayak and they fish and they swim, and it's a nice way to relax when it's so hot that you don't want to do anything else. So July and August here, July and August and half of June, it is pretty hot. July and August is probably going to be really hot, like you.
Hmm.
So, but people, a lot of people have campers down on the river, but you have to have them up on stilts because the river floods and raises up, just like for you. Um, and it's easy, if you don't have something up on stilts, it's easy to have all your stuff ruined and damaged. So yeah, we have an abundance of water and an abundance of hot, abundance of sun.
Hmm.
Yeah, so life goes on. Everybody's kind of in the summer groove here, getting in the summer groove. July 4th is our big anniversary, our 4th of July Independence celebration. And in Alderson, we claim to have the biggest celebration in the state, and our parade goes on for hours. Everything that makes noise, fire engines and ambulances and tow trucks and tractors, if it makes noise and it has wheels, you can bet it's in the parade. And then there's churches have floats, and clubs have floats, and we have horses and western western guys, and kids ride their little bikes, and it's fun. And then there's a race on the we have a ducky, little rubber ducky race. You buy a ticket, and then your number goes on the underside of a duck, a little rubber duck, and they send them out into the river at the same time. And if your duck makes it from the beginning point to the ending point, they have prizes. We have nice prizes. They give away a lot of money, and people donate. The businesses around here have been donating for years, and I think there's a couple hundred different prizes. I bought my ticket already. I don't know if I'm a winner. I haven't won anything so far, but it's a, the duck race is a big deal. And then we have fireworks, and we have a football field where they have the fireworks and a band and all kinds of food trucks, all kinds of things to eat on the last day of the celebration. It starts in June. Um, Here we have beauty contests for little kids and babies, and then, elementary school kids, Little Miss Firecracker, Miss Alderson, whatever. There's a crown for everything, boys and girls. So that starts happening in June. And there's one or two people that are always involved with that, and I've never been involved in it, and none of my kids or grandkids have ever been in it. um so that's coming. Rebecca got back into archery. She decided that if practice is only once a week on Thursdays, she can handle that. So when she gets back from being on vacation, I guess she'll be practicing again. She's very strong. She has a very strong body, like Austin has. She's built like Austin. Her mother is tall and willowy, but Austin is, short and very uh, condensed. That's a good way to say it. And his father was John's like that, and my body is like that. We're short, and we're both pretty strong, and so Rebecca comes by it pretty naturally, um, and so she's able to, pull that bow back with ease. I think the challenge for her is to practice so that her aim is better, but she's very strong, and we have two archery clubs in town. There's an older group of kids that have been doing it for a while, and they've gone. They just went to nationals. This team is very good. Rebecca is on the newer team, and they also have some new kids. But um, in the high school, there will be kids probably getting scholarships to college because of their archery um, abilities, which is new. I never lived anywhere where archery was a big deal, but it is down here. It is in this part of West Virginia. So I don't know about if anybody in India is an archer, but they are here.
Yeah, yeah. India also participates in archery in Olympics. Yeah.
Okay.
That
All
is
right.
when I hear about archery.
Yeah.
And they must be practicing somewhere. We don't have many tournaments, or I don't know about them. Not many archers, not many tournament.
Yeah.
Yes, cricket is the biggest game here. And
Oh, I forgot. I was going to ask you what the biggest sport is there. Cricket.
yeah, cricket, yeah. People will like the same game over and over. Many Indian teams are there, and there are about a dozen tournaments about cricket. They are playing all through the year, some tournament or other. And if they are not playing, then some other country is visiting, and there will be test matches and one day matches.
Yeah. Have you ever played cricket?
No, I didn't play, but I watched cricket since 1977.
Huh. You've been
Now,
watching
sorry,
you've been watching since
watching.
1977?
Yeah,
Okay.
so there have been one, two, three, four generations of cricketers. Now I have been watching. So,
Wow.
and this will be now the fifth one is going on. So for one cricketer, it is 10 years.
Yeah. Is
Um,
cricket Is cricket something like American baseball? You have a bat, you have a bat
Yes,
and a ball.
yes.
Okay,
The rules are a bit different, only that.
okay,
Otherwise, both are similar games.
okay.
And people are crazy over cricket.
Because,
Although,
yeah,
yeah, although our national game is hockey, but nobody gives much thought to hockey.
yeah,
Cricket is everywhere. Yeah.
yeah.
Though,
Hockey's a big deal here in certain parts and in Canada for sure. Hockey is a big deal in Canada. Right here, right now, basketball is a big deal. Golf is a big deal in the summer. Yeah, golf is a really big deal for a lot of people here. You know, in the winter it's what we call football. Um, and then soccer, what you call football, we have. But right now there's finals for basketball and golf. Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
when the World Cup goes on for soccer, then
Yes.
everybody watches that, even hockey. And then people watch what this not lawn tennis,
Mm-hmm.
tennis
Mm-hmm.
that is played in four places, no, US, Australia, uh, UK, and
Yeah.
France.
Yeah. Dean is always talking about the Tour de France. He's a bicycler, and so he pays attention to that when it happens. So that reminds me, um uh, by the on the 25th of June, yeah, on the 25th of June, I should have my big chunk of money that I talked to Discover with and settle my credit card, right? And then from then on, I'm going to be saving to get myself to Giverny, to get myself back to France, either in the spring, whenever the time is right. But I'm shooting for. I don't know that Paris is Paris and French weather is conducive to the gardens, to Giverny's gardens in the fall. I don't know what it's like in the fall. May, the end of April and the beginning of May would probably be the good time to go, like I was supposed to go last year. So anyway, after the 25th, on the 25th I plan on calling Discover and telling them I have this much money, would you settle my credit card account with you? And then from then forward I'm going to put my money aside, every month, and shoot to get to France and get, and go to Monet's gardens. So that's my goal.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
one.
June has been an important month for me this year. It normally isn't. June is kind of it goes by. But this year there were a lot of monumental things that happened in June for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how has how has your writing been coming?
My writing, yes. Uh,
Yeah, how's it been coming?
I cannot do without writing, Sophie.
Okay.
Why? Because when in conversation, if it is something to contribute to take the conversation ahead, I'm not good at that, unless I'm very, very close to somebody.
Okay.
And so there are very few people that I can speak really well. Uh,
Yeah.
so even though no matter how much I want, I cannot take a conversation forward. So I write.
Okay.
Whatever comes to my mind. No? Can you see the notebook?
Yes, I
It's
can.
just a little bit left, and it started in only in March, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you have a lot of thoughts in there. Wow.
I write a lot. I write a lot, and
Yeah.
besides this, I write a lot digitally. I post regularly in Facebook and in LinkedIn, hmm, in private Facebooks. So I write a lot. Yeah.
So what the so what has been the theme for you through your writing? Have you seen a common thread going through?
It is normally something I read that comes to my mind, and then um, I think a little bit more, and then I write. And also nowadays I do this YouTube's videos,
Yeah.
lot of them. I do a lot of videos every day. So for
Hmm.
that also some preparation is required, and I'm trying different types of videos which will take minimal effort from me to produce. By that I mean the editing and all. That is a lot of job. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out a way which is easy for me, so that it can go in one shot. Like the easiest for me is to have a PowerPoint presentation displayed on the screen and
Hmm.
then describe each of that. Mm. That is the easiest for me.
Your YouTube videos are coaching videos, right?
It is both.
But
Like what? Yeah, sometimes um, actually, I don't know what people, when people get stuck, they need to talk,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they need to open up. So for that to happen, they have to have trust also, right?
right.
So like I have been trying since long to create that trust, and it has been difficult for me. So I have been trying many forms of these videos, how to create that trust. It has taken me a lot of time, about last 5 5 years at least.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not very sure whether this is what I want to help people. That is one thing for sure.
Yeah,
Help people with my experience. But
right.
what is the process to gain trust of people has been something which has been eluding me. I don't know still. I'm still figuring out. So I have
Okay.
tried lot many things like writing. So people in LinkedIn mostly they have read something or other that I have posted,
Uh-huh.
and that is how they know me and they get connected. So what I do is I take them to WhatsApp, so that in LinkedIn there are people I cannot remember that many people. There are 29,000 friends. So how can you remember all those people, right?
Right.
And I also don't know whether those people are okay to talk to or not.
Yeah.
So that is one of the problems. Few people who have read or somehow we have chatted, somehow those people have come to my WhatsApp. That also I have started lately. So there are about 35 people in my WhatsApp list.
Great. Great.
One of
You
them actually I gave two classes, and he got into a good job. very senior job, about executive vice president or something.
That's a big deal. Good for him. Good for you.
Yeah, so I know for sure that I can create huge confidence in people in just one sitting also. It is unbelievable. People can't believe. So, but I don't know how do I do that, you know. I
Well,
know.
you are doing it. You maybe you just think you need to do it on
So
a
I
larger
so I know
scale.
that I if I speak to somebody, their confidence will go sky high. I know. But
Yeah.
when I s- tell somebody till I do, it is unbelievable, right?
Yes. Yes, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
I don't think I actually talked to you since that whole thing with the kids in Austin's house and everything. It worked out fine, but you're coaching with, I can't even remember all the little bits and pieces right now, but I know that I used them with him. The biggest thing was to work with him. And then he said the same thing to Rebecca. I will help you do what you need to do.
Hmm.
So that and one of the things I learned very clearly was she is motivated by when you give her good strokes, when you because I said to her, Rebecca, I know that your strong point is organizing and you do it quickly. I have no doubt that you are going to be able to organize um, the bathroom and anything. I've seen you do it in your bedroom. So she went in the house and said to Austin, do you want me to organize the bathroom? And she went in there, and in no time at all, it was, it was done. She came out and then I went in the house and asked her how everything was going, and she said, "Grandma, go look in the bathroom." And it was unbelievable that she had organized it so quickly. The thing is, the next day it was messed up again, but I learned that she really needs those strokes
Yeah.
to be. She needs to be acknowledged for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs to be acknowledged, and she will um and we got that whole mess straightened out really quickly. And Austin said she's been doing better when she leaves to go back to her mother's. The living room hasn't looked like such a disaster area. She's straightened it up before she's left, so we'll see how long that lasts before we have to remind her again. And she's been coloring her hair. She has different parts of her hair that have been bleached out, and so they will take like red and blue, and she likes doing that, which she learned from her mother, I think. And so she had this bottle of stuff, this coloring that was sitting in the bathroom, and it all oozed out. It oozed out all over her stuff and all over the side of the vanity in the bathroom. And when she came in here, she mentioned, or I mentioned it. I don't know who mentioned it first, but I said something about, when she got back from vacation, I would talk to her about how she would have to clean that up. And she started on, I'm not doing it. And I'm going, oh, yes, you are. And I said, I have paint in here that will cover the gray on the vanity. I have gray paint, but she must have gone in there and started to wipe it down. I don't think it has to be painted. It just has to be wiped off.
Yeah.
But she very obviously pushes the limit to see whether you will say anything or not. It's very obvious. She is one of those kids that is just waiting for you to say something. She came in before she went on vacation. Her language was terrible, 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 terrible. And I didn't react. I just let her say what she said. And then when Austin and I went to dinner, and he said, well, did you say something to her? And I said, I didn't this first time because I can tell she just waits for me to react,
नाही
right?
आबा.
Yeah. But when she comes back from vacation and she comes in here, the next time she starts calling people hoes and using the big F word, I am going to say to her, Rebecca, you're a smart young woman, and that's not the way you want people. That's
Hmm.
not the impression that you want to leave with people. And I will say something to her. The first time I let her say what she said, because I know she was just pushing. But yeah, I am going to say something to her. So that whole thing in the house got handled, and the table in the dining room is still pretty clear of any kind of mess. And I just have come to the realization that every now and then if I'm going to live on this piece of property, every now and then, I'm going to have to say something when it gets bad enough. And I said to Austin, um, uh, I said I wouldn't be
Yeah.
doing my job as a mom if I didn't tell you it's time to,
हाँ मैं तो शोभी होनी.
yeah, it's time for it to get done. So it went fine. But that all happened because of your coaching and because of a lot of the things you said to me and that I needed to hear. As I was too in the midst of the forest to get clear with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So you are making a big difference for people. It just maybe doesn't happen as consistently or as constantly as you like, and that's how it is. You're experimenting with YouTube to see what works and what doesn't, just like me with my artwork.
Yeah.
And those books, those cutout books that I wrote to help people with their mental illness, those have never taken off. Nobody has ever been interested in publishing them one on one. I did a lot of important work with people with them, but my expectation, you know, for whatever reason, whether they were too early, whether it wasn't a good concept, doesn't matter. They just never went anywhere up until now. Doesn't mean after I'm dead or out of this physical body that somebody may find them and go, oh, look, we can use this. But for now, it does not matter what I do. There was a big article in the newspaper in Lewisburg about 6 months ago, big pictures of me with talking about the book. I never got one phone call. So it is just, I don't know if it's timing or what, but there was not any more I could do about it.
Hmm.
Just did what I did and then let it go, right? So if you get a lot of enjoyment and out of your writing and you know that you have to do it, it doesn't matter if anybody ever sees it. You have to do that for yourself.
Yeah. So writing is part of that, Sophie. And
Yeah.
because of that story, I wanted to be realistic, just not right. There are two kinds of things that I do. One is, giving myself the step by step process, as it comes to me,
Yeah.
reframing so that it remains positive. I do not get to the dark side of whatever I'm thinking. And
Uh-huh.
the situations and the circumstances, everything can be turned into a positive thing.
Yeah.
So that is what I write mostly. And to make it useful for other people, I need a story. I need that kind of frame of mind where people are looking for something positive. So that is what I am unable to discern whether they are looking for anything positive, because normally what happens is when people are into a negative frame of mind, they are not looking for solution. So
Yeah.
that is what I see. But only if I can get to speak to them will I know that actually they are looking for a something of a kind of a solution, but they are not able to express.
Yeah.
So when I get to speak to any of them, uh, it becomes easy for me to formulate the solution. That is easy.
Yeah.
Um, but from time to time, what happens is it is them that they need to discover. So my job is to facilitate. You know, everybody's solution will be very different.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So unless they allow me to facilitate, I cannot even facilitate. So only whatever they are saying, on the basis of that, I can respond. I cannot
Right. Right.
facilitate. I cannot prescribe. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the
It'll so what I hear you saying is when you can physically talk to them, then you know you can make a difference. But you can't pull it out of them if they don't contribute something first, right? Is that
so the initial thing, the most difficult, if they are not at all coming to my circle, I am not bothered. But suppose
yeah,
they have come, they come with an expectation,
yeah,
or out of some kind of thing that they have noticed, because most of them have come from LinkedIn, right? Now
uh-huh,
they have seen me posting out there something or other which they are impressed about.
uh-huh,
Now from that, when I speak to them or whether they would like to join my WhatsApp group, they say yes and they come, right? Unless they speak, it is not going to happen. And there are some sessions that I do on Saturdays, on Wednesday, on Friday.
yeah.
If they're not coming to there, then the conversation is not happening, you know.
Well, you don't think that's any different for you than it is for me, do you? I mean, it's the same. That saying about you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yes. So that is the difficulty. So how long can you be keeping them in the WhatsApp group if people are not speaking?
Yeah.
Then what do you do? So it again so happens, it has happened so many rounds,
Mm-hmm.
After some time, I go back to LinkedIn again and I start creating something. I create every day, and people are reading that. That I know from the LinkedIn analytics. So when I'm very regular, it goes to 10,000 plus views. People have read. So that is what. But that is not a means to get connected. No. So unless I reached out,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know whether they do not know, uh, mm, or they do not think that they should be reaching out,
Mm-hmm.
or I do not have enough hint as to take the next step. Maybe either of these two.
So you just have to be okay with how it is until it's different, until you figure out maybe it's not about this is tricky. Maybe it's not about how do I want to say this? Maybe this time around, maybe this time around your lesson is to be okay with how it is. Maybe in a past life you were one of those authors that had a million people to talk to, and there were so many people that you couldn't get to them all. And maybe this time it's just different and it's a different lesson. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out here because I understand what you're saying. You're questioning what you need to do to make it different, to get different results. And I'm here saying, I wish it was like that for my art for a long, long time. I always wanted to support myself with my art. But the bottom line is, I'm 76 years old. That has never happened. I don't have the key. I don't know what to do to be able to do that, to just rely on my art for my total income. That's never happened for me. And so what I realized was, below that, my art, I've been able to inspire people with my art. That's always happened consistently. That hasn't brought in money per se. It's brought in abundance, a lot of abundance. And maybe that was the secret for me. It wasn't about monetary, it wasn't about monetary being able to measure it. That's the word I was looking for. It's not about, my artwork has not been about being able to measure it monetarily, but and I can say that the inspiration that I have given to other people with my art and creativity has been unmeasurable, because it's just been beyond what I could ever imagine. And maybe it's the same for you. When you say something, you may not be able to interact with as many people one on one as you like, but you never know what you have said that has inspired them in their lives. And oftentimes people won't even remember where they got the inspiration. So maybe they can't go back to you and say, "Oh, Sangeeta, thank you for this lesson and this is what I learned." I promise you that your inspiration and your influence is much more powerful than you realize. It's just that people don't respond like we want them to. Like our expectation is, oh, if they got all this information from me, they're going to let me know how important it was and what happened. One on one, you can get that directly, but you have no idea how many people you influence. You just have to believe that. You just have to know that your words are not just going out into the universe with no effect. They are. I know you have to believe that.
Yeah. So I have to think differently, you know? So,
Yeah,
and the indicators of success has to be different. Yes, I understand that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It it took me a while to get that.
Yeah, and while I'm still figuring out, I want to do what I like to do. So
Sure.
and that I want to improve upon that. So the one thing that I love to do is doing these videos, the
Yeah.
Facebook lives that I do. It doesn't take any work other than what I know, just I speak about what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. What time is it getting to be? I have to I don't have to go yet. It's 12:19. Okay. 12:20. I got another 10 minutes and then I got to get ready to meet up with my
Yes.
friend at 1 o'clock for lunch, but I got another 10 minutes. So
Yes.
tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah. Um, so I have been trying to figure out this thing. So Facebook Live was one, and then every day I record something. So um, maybe that is not live in Facebook. Maybe I can do that. There is a balance between no this Facebook Live where the subtitles are not there. So I first record it in my mobile and then I put the subtitles with a software and then I put it into the Facebook.
Yike.
I think that could be the same as a Facebook Live, but maybe that is not. I don't know.
It sounds like a intense process to me that you said you like doing the process of you like the process of doing that. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. So uh, I want also to be more effective while I do that to reach
Sure.
more people. So what I do is once this video is ready, I simultaneously put it into Facebook and into LinkedIn before I upload it to my YouTube.
Okay. Oh, you're saying LinkedIn. I wasn't sure what you were saying. It just hit me. LinkedIn. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, LinkedIn and Facebook.
And Facebook. Got it.
And also, I have started putting in Twitter
Oh, okay. All right.
and
Well,
Insta.
I, and Instagram.
Yeah.
I got off of all that and because I was wasting so much time and it wasn't working for me. So I applaud you. I congratulate you on being patient and savvy enough to get those to work for you. I
Yeah.
really do. I am just relying on my intuition. I am totally relying on my intuition and spirit to give me what I need because I'm a mess when it comes to all that stuff. And I was wasting too much time. Yeah, for me I was wasting too much time. So it wasn't helpful. But the fact that you can do it and that you're excited about it, that's wonderful.
Yeah. Mm.
That's a good thing. Um, I signed up for a an AI class
Okay.
because I wanted to learn more about AI, not because you can get a certificate after you do this class, but I signed up for it just because I wanted to learn more because I heard so many people, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. Come on already. So I signed up for this class and I did a little bit of it and I learned more than I knew for sure. And then after I was done with it, I went to Google and I put into Google, what are we humans going to do with our brains when we have freed up so much of our brain for by using the AI tool. What are we going to be doing when we're saving so much time by using this AI tool? And the answer was very interesting. The answer was the things that humans are still going to be valuable because they have experience. You know, AI doesn't have 70 some years of experience where you can discern and remember and have memories to pull from. So it was basically saying, the things that humans do in discriminating and discerning and using their experience for is what we're going to continue to do. And AI is going to do what it does. But I thought it was a very interesting answer because I never would have thought of that. It's like, oh, yeah, I have all this experience.
Yeah.
It reminded me of listening to our parents say, "You'll understand when you have children of your own."
Hmm.
You know, in other words, when you go through all those experiences, then you will understand. So that's basically what Google was telling me.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool. But I mean, really, uh, the class was interesting from that. A guy named Zane started this class, and he he said, and we've heard this before: garbage in, garbage out. Whether you're talking about AI or computers, like he said, it can only draw from information in the world. And what if it draws from fake information or bad information? So you still have to just you still if you're gonna write your thesis, if you're gonna write your college thesis using AI, our college theses are all gonna sound the same because everybody puts in, I want to write my college thesis. Well, I guess we're doing them on all kinds of different things, but I was just curious as to, will things start to sound the same because AI will be giving the same information to different people? I don't know. It just made me, um, maybe those four things that Bashar said to say is what's opening my mind to all these other questions. I'm not sure what, but um, it makes me feel good that I have young friends like you and younger friends that keep my mind working.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's been going on. A lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. And then Stefano said, the guy that I was telling you about from Next Level Soul said, we are the neurons. He said, we're the neurons of this gigantic, infinite universes. We're the neurons that if we got back far enough, we could see that we're the neurons in the cells of this big living thing, regardless of what label you put on it. It was pretty interesting. So,
Yeah.
anyway, that's my scoop. That's my story for now. Well,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get out of here. I got to take
Yeah.
my vitamins, get dressed, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the restaurant is close by, but I got to take my time and decide what I'm wearing, and I'm just trying not to rush. That's all I get from it.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I have to get gas. I have to get some gas or I won't make it over there, even though it's only 30 seconds away. All right. Let me know
Okay.
during the week if something comes up and oops, and we need to talk. Otherwise, I will catch you next week.
Bye.
All
Bye.
right. Have a
Bye.
good sleep.
You too. You too. Have a great day, Sophie.
Thank you. Love you. Bye bye.
Bye.